Hello everyone, welcome to another video. We just got a Facebook post from the devs with basically the patch notes for the 3rd anniversary event and its corresponding events, and a lot of interesting stuff in there, a lot of questions in the Discord, so I thought maybe we can have a chat about it. So let's have a look at the events first. So number 1, Katona, finally coming to global. Her coming for anniversary is not entirely surprising. I thought both her and Terrico would come for anniversary, because basically we have 2 more bosses than China ever will, because we have an extra Leona in Super Soldier on Silent Soldier Leona versus, well, we're gonna have Katona instead of only Super Soldier Silent Soldier Leona, and we're also gonna get Terrico, most likely, since she's in Japan, Korea, Taiwan. The only ones that don't have her is China, and we pretty much get all Taiwan characters, so I'd expect her to come. So I thought they'd probably dump them both in anniversary so they can get them out and then move to a more normal order, but Global doesn't give a fuck. They just said, we don't care about fight souls, we don't care about release orders, we're gonna do what we do. And now we got Katona for anniversary, and we are probably gonna have like Ralph Vice next month, which is gonna be insane if Vice comes this early. But you know, that's Global for you. It's pretty interesting. You'll see that Katona's not listed in the events, and I have a feeling that's because we don't usually get what's listed inside the anniversary. The stores and stuff like that, they all have their own timeline. And I think this is going to be a limited draw inside the anniversary event. I could be wrong, but I think that's why she isn't in the list of events right now. There's only a Sheehan redraw in there. Second, we have Bloodthorn's Fight Soul coming, which is a pretty interesting one, honestly. It's basically, you know, Reflect Soul, but it doesn't work for tanks. Matcha from the Discord very kindly translated this for us, so thanks to him. So as you can see, only works on non-tank fighters. It gives Reflect based on the number of adjacent characters around him. It basically sucks it out of them, so it's quite weird. I'm not sure we have anything like this in any other way, but it's quite interesting to put, when you think about it, to put on a character like, if you have, say, a front line of like Magaki, Athena, Oswald right now, putting this on Athena and sticking her in the middle sounds pretty good, you know? Sounds like it's kind of ideal to her. Then you have the skill reducing defense and marking them, basically, which is a pretty good mark. It's 10% max damage every round, as long as she as long as she's still alive, basically, because every time it turns she's going to hit someone. Pardon me, Jesus. Level 3, start of ally round, is where it has less than 50 HP, still 20% from a random enemy fighter. So this is kind of like Psyche's passive, and this is really, really good. Like, this is going to be really nice for Athena when she gets low in life, uses her, when she takes 30% from one of her fans in the back line or whatever, and then she uses this. This is really, really nice. Then the Reflect goes up, which means you no longer have to have her in the middle. Sadly, it can't go up beyond 40%. That's a little bit sad. I would have liked them lift that up. But this is basically just a convenience thing to make it so you don't need to be in middle front, middle back row. And when ulting, you give the mark to 2 enemies. That's also really nice, because it's not just the 10% now, is that it goes to 2 rounds. So that's, you know, that's a pretty hefty little bleed there, when you think you're going to be applying 3 per round when you ult. It's pretty nice. And then the last one, never a big fan of on-death effects, but it is a pretty decent one, because it's like to every enemy. So that's pretty nice. Also, it works well for running it on Athena, and I think it works well for running it against Athena, due to the healing decreased, which is going to be needed. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting fight soul. I'm really not sure how it's best used. Like, Athena obviously springs to mind immediately to me, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Tengu also seems like a good one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. After that, what else do we have? Let's see. Gates, you know, nothing new to talk about there. Now, new cross-server mode, Melee Neighborhood. I'm not 100% on this yet, but I have a feeling that this is cross-server club battle, which would be in club, which is this here, because this translates as something similar with Google Translate, which I think they use like for 70% of global translations. But they're that bad. But yeah, this is basically club battle, but cross-server. Not much else to it. And the story in here isn't very impressive, and the chests they give are pretty much similar to cross-server tournament chests. It's okay, but there are other events I would have rather have gotten before this. But you know, going against clubs in other servers is going to be fine. It's going to be fun. So that's something, you know. Any new game modes are welcome. Get out of here, you. Purple. Oh, didn't get it. Okay, so after that we have what's probably going to be the meat of this update, Gene Map. Now, obviously, new feature. This is going to mean the power increase. It's a pretty interesting one, honestly. It's pretty different from anything else in the game. So this is the main screen. In this screen, you basically link together two characters. Any two characters you like, it doesn't matter. You just get them together, put them there, and then you equip these runes. Well, runes, sorry. They're called chips. Okay? Basically, you're supposedly becoming like a bionic man, basically, and equipping chips into yourself, because this does that shit. So, first of all, you start with 3 slots, as you can see down here. I've got 1, 2, 3, and you can buy more for diamonds. Once you've equipped both your characters into here, once you've got both your characters selected, to change a character costs diamonds. Not expensive, but you know, something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of stats, this isn't quite as insane as runes. Like you can see here, this is a red level 100 chip, and it gives 16,250 HP, which, you know, it's about a third of what a rune gives, I think. Maybe a little less if we count blood enhancement, but somewhere around there. So bonuses to stats are nice, you know, but they're not as overwhelming. However, that's not really the great part of this set. The great part of this feature is this kind of stuff. In here, you have this bar. As you level up, you get different effects. So, for example, at level 1, you get like increase arena HP, cross server arena, and I think in tower, but I think these change between regions, so I might be wrong. Second one also increases HP. These are all like HP increases, defense increases, attack increases. Actually, I don't think there is an attack increase, but yeah, I think these change per region. So I'm not sure how they're going to be in ours. I expect them to be similar to what they are like here. But the ones I've seen is the Japan region, so they don't quite 100% line up. But basically, the higher this goes, the better effects you get for different modes. You can raise this by upgrading your chips. I don't have any to upgrade right now, as you can see, and it doesn't say how to get them, but but yeah, as you upgrade these go up. You have these chips down here are different. You have that bar which gives you a set of effects, right? But then these chips have their own set of effects. So basically, I have mine at level 4, you can see here. So I've unlocked the first 4 levels of this, and to show you what they're like in Japan, let me see, I should have it around here. Here we go. This is Google Translate, so you know how it goes. It's not perfect, but it gives you a decent idea. So this is the kind of effect you get, right? So when you take a big chunk of damage, it will activate. If you lose more than 20% HP in a single hit, or in a single hit, for 2 turns you increase 16% res for both the linked characters. That's tier 1. So if I had these runes, for example, I'd be up to tier 4. So I'd get res up to 24%, and I'd get 24% damage up for 2 turns on both the characters. And at tier 5 and tier 6, you just increase the activations. So you have, I think it's 3 different sets of runes that you can use. Let me see, for the feature runes. Get out of there, please. It's up here, isn't it? Yeah. So these are the different types, as you can see. These triangles, these, and the 8 looking things. And each of them has different benefits. So I'm not sure what they're going to be like in global, because they might change depending on if we get honestly, the way global works, depending on what region we copy paste this feature from, because that's how global does it basically. But yeah, so you get stats, you get passives going by this, by that bar, and you get another set of passives depending on how high you have those bottom runes, right? So this is what it's like in Japan for the bar. Level 1, 10% HP in arena. Level 2, 10% HP in cross-server arena and tournament or whatever. And as you can see, it just goes up and up and up. Now, this is different from what it's like in Taiwan, so I'm not exactly sure how it will be in global. I imagine we will get whatever Taiwan has, because that's what we normally do. To get these, you obviously have to buy them. How do you buy them? 680 diamonds for an X10, or 80 diamonds for a single pull. You do get a free pull every day. Here you can see everything you can get as usual, but we'll have these on Monday anyway, so we can see what they're like in English. God help us, I hope they do a good translation. But yeah, this is basically how it goes. That was a terrible pull. Up until now I had always gotten at least a purple, but in this one I didn't, so doesn't look like there's any guaranteed ones. It's basically like esoterics in terms of pulls. And yeah, that's pretty much how this goes. So it's a decent increase in power, but it's more about the effects. Like you'll see, if I take this off and then I equip it again, if you look at the top left of the screen now, that's only a 3.4k gain. So not insane, right? It's decent, but it's not insane. Yeah, and then you have these, which when you increase this, it increases, I think, for the whole team basically. The thing is, I'm not entirely sure where you get these from, because I've been opening a bunch of boxes and I do have quite a few, so there must be some feature that gives them. But yeah, what was that in power? 638 power, so not a huge. Although this probably scales with your power, because as you can see when I started the video, my team's pretty low. You know, it's just this is just a test account, so nothing interesting in it. But yeah, so that's what this is, and it's basically going to be the next big diamond sink and the next big power or balance change in global. It's going to be, things are going to be quite different depending on how people, who they have linked up, what they have them linked with, right? Because for example, there's a rune that heals, a chip, goddammit. There's one that heals, in Japan there's one that heals when you do your ult, for example. If your partner has less HP, it heals him. So if you think about linking that to someone like Oswald and Nightmare G's, who both ult pretty frequently, they both have some healing, if you get to the point where those are your two characters carrying, it's going to be quite hard to kill them. They're going to be a nightmare to kill, right? No pun intended. So, depending on how people do this, it's going to change a lot what the same exact team might perform as compared to another, because they have different effects and different levels. So I'm quite interested to see actually how this comes out in global. I think it looks a lot more complex than it is. I think the main thing is going to come down to choosing who you're going to link and what effect you're going to give them. But for the rest of it, it looks pretty simple. I think though it's going to have quite a big impact. Quite a big impact in global. So yeah, it's finally getting a new power mode. I thought we were going to get something different first, but what else do we have? What else are they adding in this update? Let's see. Gene map. Oh, they're adding 14 API 14 characters to the bar. That's really nice. You don't have to buy them now. You can get them in drops as well, which will be nice for people in newer servers when they're trying to get points to buy other characters that they need. 2 new servers, a few new server merges. Still waiting for server 35 to get merged. And they're finally fixing Athena's ult, which is nice. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about. Like, we have anniversary coming. I could speculate about that, but there's a lot of things we don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do this year. They've never let me down so far with it, so hoping it's going to be great. There is a couple of good events coming, like we have Shion's redraw coming on May the 14th, which, you know, some people want to get, though they might be scared now with all the stuff like with Katona and other stuff that might be coming. We have a double recharge for a week, which will probably be similar to what we had last year, which was like a small recharge event where once you bought a certain amount of diamonds, you got the same amount again, but it didn't refresh or anything. It didn't reset. That would have been insane if it did. Would have been nice. Doesn't seem like we're getting VIP perks reset or anything similar. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say for now. Hopefully that helps a little bit with the system and how it works. I think it's not that hard to understand outside of... I think the complexity is what I said earlier. Just choosing who you're gonna link and what effects you're gonna put into them. Outside of that, I think the rest of it pretty much plays itself. So yeah, be interesting to see how it goes and see what you think about it. I hope we all have a good anniversary. I'll see you guys soon.